So everything's all dried now. I had to take a break overnight and just kind of take a step back, and I really had to ponder what I was going to do here. And I don't know if I want to actually put something to collage something. So I'm going to do some stamping, but then I'm going to go back over it with paint. Now the only thing is that I didn't want to use black or white for the actual the stamping. So what I'm going to try to see if it'll give enough of an impression is a true silver. So I'm going to stamp with this, and then then I will actually come in with a brush and with this, and then make the fonts a little bit nicer. The only font, the stamp font that I have is this one here, this type of style. I don't have anything else, but I really like this. I tried doing it by hand, and I just can't get the flow properly. I'm not a calligraphy artist at all. My writing is horrendous, so but I like the look, and I'm gonna try. This font is called Bleeding Cowboys, and it's a free font that you can get from, I think, freefonts.com or one of those sites. You just type in, do a search for Bleeding Cowboys font. It's a beautiful font. So I'm going to stamp that, and then at the same time I'm also going to come back here with some gray tones and start putting a little bit of shadow in here, but this is pretty well done. But I'm going to put a little bit of a more gray on his hair because he really tends to disappear. The look of him disappearing into the raven is what I wanted, but it didn't quite turn out the way I had hoped. So what I figured is I'm going to do this first, do the stamping first, let it dry. While it's drying, then I'll work on the face. Then when that's done, then I'll come back and do the do this stuff here. So when I'm working on, I just have to get it, when I do stamping, I prefer stamping on a jelly plate. Now this one has dried acrylics on it, and it's not coming clean, so I'm just going to use it for stamping with acrylics. And you need a brayer, and I'm going to get a little bit of extender, and the extender is simply to give me a little bit more time to blend. I was thinking about using the dazzling metallics and stuff like that, but I really like this silver. I'm going to put quite a bit on there. I'm not going to need to use that much. But I just want to, if you put too little of a sheet, it's going to dry really fast, so that's why I put the extender in there. You just got to make sure it's mixed really, really well. There we go. So I don't know if this is going to work. I don't know at all if this is going to work, but we'll give it a try. Well, first I'm going to, well, actually I'm going to do the stamping this way. Okay, so we have enough ink there. Let's see if this works. It's acrylics. The worst thing that can happen if it doesn't work, and we just wipe it off. Oh, there we go. That turned out all right. Okay, and then, oh, let me just get, I should have had this prepared ahead of time. Just so the acrylics don't dry and the stamp. This is what I do. It may be the wrong thing to do, but this is what I do, and it seems to work. And then just take the stamp and just put it in here just until I'm finished. Do we need a, we don't need any more U's. We do need an O. We do, oh, might as well just do this here. Where's the E? Okay, there's the E. Oops, I just dribbled that in there. Where's? Okay, so I should actually move the letters more to the center because now it's heavy on this side. Okay, that worked out. And then Raven. Do I need the T? Nope. Don't need the H. And R-A-V-E-N. And just line that up the way I want it to appear. Oops, don't want any ridges there. I know it's shiny. What I like about using acrylics, I know that this is going to be permanent. With ink, unless you get a permanent ink, it's water soluble, and when you try to paint over it, or if you want to paint over it, it's not going to stay. Okay, I need the R, I need the E, I don't need the A, I need the N. I was kind of hoping it would be a capital N. Now I'm going to have to do this in a small piece because the letters repeat. Okay, now that was dumb. That was dumb. There we go. Okay, Evermore, don't need the N anymore. E. I don't need the V anymore. E-V, E-R, M, O, you stampers out there that have been doing this for years are probably laughing at me. I'm not a professional stamper. I just do what looks good. Probably doing it wrong, but I like the look I get. I think I just double stamped on this one. I press it down by accident. I think I may get a double stamp on that one. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. And then R-E. Oh, wouldn't that be funny if I spelt it wrong? No, it wouldn't. It wouldn't be funny. Not after all this work. Nevermore. And my alignment is a little bit off. There we go. I don't even know if I want to make any adjustments to that. Okay, so now what I would do with this is take this with a... I use Lysol wipes because I get the fastest cleaning time. So I just basically would just wipe it. Some detailed ones I will actually soak in a little bit of water with 1000 plus stain remover, also known as Winning Colors, and just for a few minutes. So once I clean these off, then I'll just let them sit to dry, and then I'll put them back on the acrylic sheet for storage. I don't know how some of you out there that have got hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of stamps, how you manage to organize them so nicely. I just have a few, and I put everything into a massive boot box, like a shoe box but for boots. And I know this is tedious, but I'm not going to stop the video because the longer these sit, the faster the acrylics will dry. So I just want to get them cleaned off. I don't even remember where I bought these. Probably Lens Mill or something. This is when I was just learning about all these types of paper art and stuff. Okay. So that's that. So these types of stamps, there's cling stamps and I think acrylic or clear stamps. They just go on these pieces and they go down. They're unmounted. I think I got that right. Okay, so that's that. Now, while that's drying, oh, this is important too. Oh, you know, and what, I didn't show you guys actually how I clean my jelly plate. I'm not going to clean it because I'm going to use the paint, but when I was doing this side here with the brayer, I was using the multi-surface satins. It actually bonded to the roller. That's how good the adhesion is on those paints. But that's fine. Just have to soak it in 1000+ stain remover, it'll come off. But with this here, with a paper, I'm going to reuse this, but I would just basically just wipe it. Okay. With a paper towel or with a kitchen wipe. These things are pretty sturdy, just don't scratch. That's where I'm stuck on the bottom. There's acrylics that have dried, and I can't use anything abrasive to clean it because it will damage the plate. So I just use this side. Alright, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this aside, and I'm going to take some white. Look. A little bit of black. At this point you can even throw in a little bit of raw umber in there too if you wanted to. And I was tempted to go to my oil brushes for this. Yeah, that's pretty good. Okay, dip it in some water. And I'm just going to even out the tone a little bit. I had done that with a lot of contrast yesterday. And I want to put a slight little bit of tone in there, not much. And just slightly. This is 5 o'clock shadow. If you find that your acrylics are just dragging, put a little bit of extender over the area that you're painting. I'm going to apply like a lot and I'll just wipe it back. This just helps everything flow. There we go. Now this is his beard, so I don't want it to be too fancy. There is a dark part right here. I'm looking at the actual photograph from the internet. And he's also got a 5 o'clock shadow here. That's a little bit of shadow right in here. But he has a little bit of white right in there. Still want to keep it abstract, like with lots of contrast. A little bit more gray here. So really it's anywhere where there's a shadow. There's a lot here. A lot of shadow in here. Just picking up a little bit of extender. Now when you put the extender in here, it will take much longer to dry. So just don't try to do any photography or put your piece on a scanner until it's totally dry. You'll be able to tell very easy because of the shine. There won't be any shine when it's perfectly dry. Putting a little bit of a gray tone here. I wasn't thrilled with the stark black and white contrast. I didn't quite like it. A little bit of gray. There's a hair there. Now you're seeing a lot of shine because of the extender. So hopefully you can. I'm trying to tilt it so you don't see a lot of shine. Then I see shine. All right, let's get some gray down here. A little bit of a darker gray here. This is his chin. There we go. Much, much, much better. Now the only thing that I am not impressed with is the shape of his nose. Let's see if I can fix that up. It should come to here. I'm just covering up the black shadow. It's just a little too far out. And let's get a little bit more black for the mustache. And his mouth is here. And I wonder if I can pull this one off. This is his mouth right there, block. This is his mustache is kind of broken here. A little bit of white. I'm looking at the actual photograph now from the internet, not the one I threw in Photoshop. Yeah, that's much better. Now he actually has a lip. The abstract was a little bit too abstract for me. And I know what I'm doing now. Now I'm going back to correct it with my fine art training. And I need to stop that. I'm having trouble, so much trouble painting imperfect faces. I find that I keep going back. That's why I don't do a lot of faces on camera, because I find that it's just I have so much trouble. I am getting better. I am getting better with a lot of help from my friends at creativeartjournaling.com. I'm getting a lot of help and encouragement over there. Just put a little bit more here. This is really dark. I'm doing everything with a filbert brush, which is a little difficult. There we go. This one is actually pretty good. I'm not even going to muck around with this one. Let's see if I can just get the nose put back in there. There we go. Nice shadow. There we are. Oh! It was just the shape that was bugging me. If something bugs you, and somebody says, "Oh, leave it, leave it, leave it, leave it." If something bugs you that much, then you gotta fix it, because you'll just end up. It'll affect how your piece will work, and you'll just be so bugged about it, and then you'll do other stuff around, and then you'll come back and it'll bug you some more, and
I used to be like that. If something bugged me, I would just leave it and not bother with it, but not anymore. It's best just to get it over and done with. Okay, a little bit more gray in here, just evening out the tone a bit more while this has tacked up a little bit. Believe it or not, portraits are much easier to do when they are in a gray tone, because then you're not being overwhelmed with colors. I am teaching well, I'm writing let me try this again. I'm a contributor to Interactive Artist magazine, and I'm right now going through teaching a painting portrait features course. Painting each element black and white and then in color, so it's much easier to deal with. But that's more realistic, not artistic. Now black, more realistic, not artistic. That was a dumb thing to say. It's not like a fantasy face or anything. So now with the faces, I'm just going to come in and just looking here where he's got these little curls here, and I'm just adding now some gray. And this is just basically because the background is black. And although you aren't going to be able to see a heck of a lot going on here, I just want to get some slight movement in here so he doesn't look like a robot. It's got a curl there. When this dries, it'll be darker. Okay. And oh my goodness, better get my jar of water. And just want this last blend here. When you're working with acrylics, it's always best let the things dry before you make any adjustments, because as you make the adjustments, if it's not dry, it's going to get darker, and then you're going to be confused as to how to fix it up. Okay, so that takes care of that. So let him dry up a little bit, and I'm going to turn around, and I'm not quite sure. I really like the way that lettering turned out, and I don't know if there's anything that I can do to really emphasize it. I think I'm going to leave it. Yeah, I think I'm going to leave it. But I'm going to hang on to that for something else. So that's not quite dry yet, so we have that. And then we turn over to that. I can now at this point I could collage some things on here, but I really want to leave the page in its simplest form, because the whole concept of the dark romance type of thing, I don't want to overwhelm it with too much bling and beads and baubles and buttons and all that. So I want to keep it very simple, because the whole focus is Poe with the raven, and you know, some of his poetry, and everybody interprets poetry differently, but some of his poetry to me is a little dark, and that's where I see this. And then the TV show is The Following follows, you know, they work from him, so it depends on how you interpret it. But again, you don't have to use this picture. You can use any picture, have a symbol, some type of symbolism behind. You can use a Native American, a famous Native American in front with you know, maybe a spirit guide in the back. Same thing with the moon, and maybe a quote.
you know, that type of thing. So, but anyway, so I hope that you enjoy this, and this here will take probably about, with the extender that I put on here to help me blend, that'll probably take probably a good hour to dry. But I hope that you enjoy this. It's a very long video, but it's not a lesson. It's just basically the camera over my shoulder or above my head, how I'm making a journal page for the Dark Side of Vintage project. And you can find information on that at creativeartjournaling.com. So I hope that you join in with us. And until then, stay inspired.